All right, guys, let's just talk for a minute. Red dots on handguns, do you need one? For the last probably 5 or 6 years, since, basically 2018, I have been under the impression that you absolutely have to have a red dot on your handgun. Now, this past weekend, I shot a 2-gun action challenge match, and I shot that with this. This is a Langdon Tactical Beretta 92G Elite. Not the fanciest gun they make. It's actually, in fact, it's kind of like the entry level for the Langdon Tactical stuff. And you'll notice it does not have a red dot. It's not even equipped to accept a red dot. And this really kind of changed my mind on some things. So I'm actually gonna do a quick little test here though. I'm gonna try and put 6 rounds as quick as I can on a piece of steel that's right there that you can't see, but that camera behind me can. And we're gonna see. I also have my Smith And Wesson Shield 9 Plus out here today. That is equipped with a Crimson Trace 5 MOA red dot, one of my compensators, and that's pretty much it. Otherwise, it's factory, obviously a threaded barrel as well. To give the Langdon the best chance possible, I've taken 0 shots so far today. So I'm actually gonna start with the Smith And Wesson Shield 9, and then I'll move to the Beretta after. Let's get started. So let's make sure, okay, we are ready to rock. Do I have, yep, I believe I loaded 6, so I shouldn't have any extra shots. New session, sure, and our delay is gonna be 3 to 5 seconds. All right, safety is gonna be off because this is a safety model. Here we go. Okay, that was 6, and record a 2:11 total time on that. Not horrible performance. Let's move to the Langdon and see what we can do. All right, we're going to go again here. Here we go. A recorded time of 197, so within a 1/10 or so of a second. So a 197 versus a 211. In terms of speed, the Langdon's gonna be a little faster, just because, probably because of the weight. And the distance we're shooting at, taking really precise aim shots is not really that much of a requirement. Okay, for this next test, we're gonna do something a little bit different. Actually, what we're gonna be doing is shooting some of this 70 grain Liberty Civil Defense. This is mostly because I'm really curious. We're shooting in slow-mo now at 120 frames per second. All right, so that was really interesting for me. Obviously, the Langdon is a much larger gun. And the Smith & Wesson absolutely shot much flatter than the Langdon on that one. At least it felt flatter to me. Yeah, the Smith & Wesson felt like it stayed on target much better, probably because of the compensator. Honestly, it would have been difficult for me to tell the difference between that 70 grain stuff and the 115 or 124 that we were shooting a minute ago. In the Langdon, it would have felt very, very similar. That is a really interesting that is how that played out. Oh, but Mitch, what does any of that have to do with red dots versus iron sights? The short answer is nothing. I basically got completely distracted at the range and kind of forgot what kind of video I was making. So we're back here in the studio. Red dots versus iron sights. So the point that I was trying to get at the very beginning there was that I got totally sucked into the kind of meta gamer gun philosophy that goes on kind of in the Second Amendment community. It seems like every once in a while there's something that happens and it's like if you don't jump on it, you're getting left behind. And I let myself believe that. I let myself believe that if I didn't have a red dot on every single handgun, I was like missing some critical thing. And getting out and shooting a match last weekend, I was actually shooting with Ian McCollum from Forgotten Weapons. He was in my squad. And he's a pretty reasonable shooter. Like he shoots a fairly decent amount. He's relatively fit. So he was shooting and like we were kind of going back and forth a little bit between stages. I ended up scoring 7th overall. He ended up scoring 14th overall. He was shooting a red dot handgun. And so watching him and then being able to go up there and kind of get the same stuff done, but with an iron sighted gun, really kind of, I don't know, maybe if it instilled confidence or just made me feel like, okay, I don't need red dots on handguns. And then it was like something clicked in my brain, like, oh my gosh, of course I don't need red dots on handguns. Like, that's a silly thing to even mention, but I had been thinking that I needed it for so long that to kind of say it out loud made me feel like, I don't know, I had discovered something. I guess the moral of the story is, don't let yourself get sucked into this tactical requirement or this kind of like I said before, gamer gun sort of meta that goes on. And there's always going to be a new thing, a new shiny object for you to go chase. It was red dots, and then it was compensators, and then it was slide work, and then it was suppressor height sights to co-witness, and then it was, you know, enclosed emitter red dots more recently. There's always the next thing, and the truth is, the only thing that's going to make you better is going out and shooting. Ideally, get training, but if you can't, just go practice. Set up a plate rack, go find a range that lets you shoot on paper at a relatively decent pace, and really understand how your gun works, because that is how you're going to get better. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.